We got some stormy weather again coming for tomorrow, so I'm gonna head out today and do the rail trail and just enjoy the nice sunshine. And once again, stopping to get some catnip. Oops, I wasn't expecting that to happen. You can see it scared the crap out of me. When I'm doing the trails like this, I don't really have to really pay attention to what's going on around me. No traffic to worry about, and no threat of people suddenly appearing in front of me or anything. Occasionally I'll get surprised by a cyclist coming up behind me or something, but for the most part, I'm just free to daydream, and compared to the monster, the ES950 is so much slower. Free to go to a different planet, which is what I often do. And then this happened, and suddenly get jerked back to Earth really quickly. So my first thought here is the brake, from having problems with it. But once the scooter's moving, the brake, even if a wire comes off, it shouldn't be an issue. So deep down, I do know what this is, but for whatever reason, I'm not thinking about it. Years ago, not when I first got the scooter, but after a while, I started having a bit of an issue with it suddenly shutting down like that. And it turned out plugs on the batteries were kind of not making perfect contact. So I know I've talked about this before. The scooter's not wired directly to the batteries, it's on plugs. So when you need to take the batteries off the scooter, you don't have to undo the wires from the terminals, you just unplug them. That makes it nice and quick and easy. So the tech guy came to look at it, and that's what it turned out to be. He just wiggled the plugs and everything was fine again, cleaned them up. So there was that, and I had a problem with the key switch. There's two contacts inside the switch. It's actually a three-way switch, but only one side of it's being used, so only two of the three terminals. And inside the switch, there's a rotary part, and it's got what I describe as staples. It's like C-shaped pieces of brass or copper brass, I think it is. And one of them was kind of worn out from arcing, because every time you turn the power on and off, you're going to get an arc. So it was kind of worn out. And rather than replacing the key switch, I just took that staple out and moved the one that wasn't being used into that position, and that's worked fine ever since. So I can, with the keys that I have hanging down, whenever I hit bumps, it was causing them to move around or whatever, and it would lose contact. So I switched to the new one, and I haven't had problems with it. So those are the only two situations that have ever caused the scooter just suddenly shut down like that. In this case, I just turn it off, wait a few seconds, turn it back on, and it's ready to go again. Well, this is new. This is the Brenly Estates construction site, and it's been a while since I've been out here, and a whole lot has changed. They've now broken through the trees, so you can see all the work that they've been doing back there, all the land they cleared out, and I'm not sure how much farther back it goes than this, but apparently they're putting in a different road for it. So I was actually quite a surprise to see this. Here we go again. Every time this happens, I lose just a little bit of trust in the scooter that it's going to keep actually working for me. Also, every time it happens, my fear increases a little bit that it's going to happen in a rather inconvenient place, which it has done in the past. When I had problems with the key switch, yeah, it was crazy. I'd go like 10 feet, it would happen, and I'd go another 10 feet, and it'd happen again. And it would happen in front of people, and somebody pulling out of a driveway or a parking lot or whatever, and they're waiting for me, and I'll try to pass. All of a sudden it stops, and they gotta wait, and it has happened crossing intersections. So all that's kind of in my mind. But if it is the battery plugs, it's an easy fix. I just gotta take them apart and clean them. If it's the key switch, I have a replacement. When it failed originally, I bought a new key switch for it. I believe it was like $90 or something. It's crazy. But when I went to change it, I decided to see if I could open the old one and see what was wrong, what was happening inside. And that's when I discovered that worn out staple. So I was able to fix it and get some more life out of it. So if I need to, I still have the replacement, the brand new one, that I can put in if I need to. But I am out just enjoying today. I'm really not into doing roadside diagnostics at this point. If it happens, just turn it off, wait a few seconds, turn it back on. I'm good to go again for as long as it wants to go. Now, normally what happens is I hit a bump, and whatever's causing the problem, that's what triggers it. But it doesn't always happen that way. It gets to a point where something, if it's just an instant of loss of contact, electrical contact, and the controller will sense that and go, uh-oh, problem, and shut down. And that's kind of what's been happening. It just suddenly just stops and goes into error mode. And it just doesn't take much to fix that, because if it's only an instant, then when I turn the scooter back on, you know, everything's fine again and it's good to go. So as long as I'm able to do that, then I'm really not too worried about it. But like I say, it does tend to happen at inconvenient times. Like this lady heading towards me here on the sidewalk. She pulls over to the side and lets me go by, and all of a sudden the scooter stops and she thinks I'm waiting for her. She says, okay, you can go through, and it's like, no I can't, unfortunately. I can, but the scooter doesn't want to. So it gets embarrassing, you know. To be honest, it's actually, anytime I have a problem with a scooter, it's kind of embarrassing. But, you know, it is what it is. It's the problem with anything mechanical. You know, at some point, it's going to start giving you problems. And until you figure out what that problem is, you just kind of got to deal with it. I've used almost all the scooter's charge this trip, and that's something kind of interesting that happens here. So if you look at the display, if you can call it a display, that flashing light, the one on the bottom, not the four top ones, is indicating a low battery. The monster, when it gets down to low battery, it chirps. This one just flashes. You get down to the last 2 bars. But pushing the scooter back, and just before I turn it off, watch the display. It went into error mode. I didn't even notice it. But I wasn't powering it anyways, and it's kind of pushing it manually. So I just didn't feel like rolling up the door. And the scooter's just going inside the door anyways, parking it behind the monster for now. So, other than, a few little hiccups that the scooter was doing, it was actually quite an enjoyable evening. The temperature's just nice, there's no wind, no precipitation, that's the key. But it's coming.
Well, finishing off the holiday weekend with a threat of thunderstorms across sections of Ontario. I want to show you the risk map. Everyone from Windsor over towards the Ottawa Valley at risk to see some active weather, and there could even be a couple of severe storms down towards southwestern Ontario where we have the greatest opportunity of that. Can't rule that out across Barrie either. So what's happening here is very strong southwesterly flow driving in some warm and humid air, also responsible for the brief warm up we'll have on this Labor Day before this cold front comes crashing in from the west, allowing us to cool down significantly for Tuesday. But talking about your Monday first, got widespread showers up towards areas around Cottage Country morning and afternoon on your Monday, and then you can see the widespread showers and storms starting to slide through southern Ontario as we head towards the mid-evening time frame in the GTA. A little bit earlier in the afternoon, eastern shores of Lake Huron, but again, can't rule out a few storms to go severe. Biggest threat will be some gusty winds, heavy downpours, much cooler air moves in behind this system. You can see here just the teens heading into Thursday, Friday across the GTA.
And this is why I went out last night instead of today, because I knew this was coming. So I'm going to show you something really strange here. This is the radar map. This is all the storms and everything coming at us. And right in the middle of the screen, if you see the mouse cursor there, that's where I'm at. And I have no explanation for this whatsoever, but this happens so often. Almost every storm system that comes through, this happens. So I'll start the radar map going here, and just watch. Looks like we're going to get hit, and it just kind of splits and goes around us. It doesn't matter what direction it comes from. This always happens. The only explanation I can come up with is there's some kind of geological feature that causes this. I don't know if there's higher ground here or something. It causes the air to move upwards and kind of pushes everything apart. I don't know. I know it's not radiation from the nuclear plant because that's closer to the lake, not here. So I don't have an explanation for it. But it just, again and again, it just keeps happening. And a lot of times after it passes us, it'll reconnect. Everything will just come right back together again. Like it never split. It's really strange. But we didn't come through completely unscathed. We did get some storms. So I'm going to end today's video with a time-lapse of what my weather cam caught. Yeah, if you look closely, you'll be able to see a few lightning strikes. And the cool part is right at the very end, when the clouds get really close to the ground, you'll see them suddenly change direction. And they go from west to east and then suddenly change north to south. But there's not a whole lot of detail in the clouds because I'm using my H9 camera for this one. Thanks for watching.